My name is Christina Enwasia Lee. I was born on the beautiful island of St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. I've had many experiences in my short 41 years of life that have shaped me into the individual that I am today. Growing up in a small community has had a positive effect in my life. The first effect is accountability. As a child and young woman, I was taught to be accountable for all my actions. This type of upbringing made me think before acting in many situations, which helped me to avoid peer pressure and kept me out of trouble. It also helped me to keep my future in perspective, understanding that all my choices will affect my future. Although St. Thomas is a beautiful island known as American Paradise, it has its negatives as all places do. Being as small as it is, it can impact one's life in many ways. I chose to turn those negative experiences into positives. Many of my friends and classmates have died due to gun violence. The violence I attributed to the fact that there were lack of opportunities. I chose to utilize that negative environment and create opportunities for others and myself. At the age of 21, I became an entrepreneur, starting a daycare and preschool along with an after-school program. After establishing the center, I opened an at-risk summer camp program to assist a segment of the population who generally could not afford to send their children to a program during the summer. My small business employed young aides and helped the youth. The program provided employment opportunities for young people who may have not gotten the opportunity for employment. The program fostered the children with an enrichment program, as well as etiquette and arts and crafts, as well as many life-enriching experiences. Many of the children who attended the childcare program have made great strides in their personal and educational development. I keep in contact with them to make sure they're on the right path. Several years later, Somerville Culture Seekers USVI was established so I could aid year-round instead of just in the summer to assist the at-risk population. The cultural aspect of my nonprofit, which serves to preserve the culture in the Virgin Islands, is an example of intrinsic motivation. Culture and history is something I enjoy because I find it to be interesting and something I have great passion for. It can also serve as an example for my pro-social motivation, which has afforded me the opportunity to create an organization that assists the underserved population, which is something dear to my heart. The nonprofit that I established also fostered an entrepreneurship program that assisted the youth in the program to learn necessary skills in order to become an entrepreneur. The extrinsic motivation that I have gotten from striving for higher education and completing my PhD is witnessing the skills I have obtained transforming my innovation. These skills have allowed me to help the underserved population. The journey I've taken has also inspired others to be inspired to get their PhD. The teaching profession in any capacity is the highest form of community service because it nurtures and develops our future leaders. I decided for this week's project I would dedicate to the celebration of women's contributions to history, culture, and society. Some of the women I would like to recognize are Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett, who represents the United States Virgin Islands at large, Congressional District in the United States House of Representatives. Congresswoman Plaskett is a member of the Committee on Oversight and Reform. The Congresswoman has utilized her skills as a former prosecutor to ensure accountability and transparency with the government and private sector in the Virgin Islands and across the United States. I would also like to highlight Dr. Nur. She taught one of the first courses as it relates to creativity in my educational pursuit of becoming a creative scholar. Dr. Nur is recognized as a Fulbright Scholar. She has also studied at the Torrance Center for Creativity and Talent Development as an educational specialist. Dr. Nur has taught courses and facilitated trainings on creativity and gifted education, as well as delivered keynote speeches and training on creativity and gifted education. The next woman I would like to recognize is Dr. Valrika M. Bryson. Dr. Bryson is an educational leader who builds and sustains families and community partnerships to cultivate inclusive, caring, and culturally responsive school communities. Dr. Bryson obtained her PhD from the University of the Virgin Islands and is a proud Buccaneer like me. When I look back on my past, this part of my journey through life impacted me in a great way. It showed me that it is great to develop oneself, and it gives greater joy when you share your experiences with others who are less fortunate and have an impact and make changes in their lives. This is of great importance to me because I'm the mother of a 22-year-old son who graduated with his BA in 2018 and is developing himself daily. And I realize a lot of his actions have been impacted by certain choices I have made. Ultimately, your children are your reflections, whether one realizes it or not. My son learned from a very young age that it takes a village to raise a child. I've always kept this in perspective because it makes me understand why it is important to give back to those that are less fortunate and that public service is of utmost importance. My experiences going through the graduate program has prepared me for the next step, which was pursuing my PhD at the University of the Virgin Islands. The PhD program has been rigorous, however, I'm getting close to the finish line. The sleepless nights and tears of frustration have been well worth the outcome. I have garnered skills in creativity and innovation that have developed a concrete skill set that has transformed my skill set. In the article on intrinsic motivation and creativity on page 100, it said that the productions of novel and useful ideas, creativity have long thought to be preceded by profound interest and engagement with tasks. Barron, 1955, Runco and J, 2012. One of my goals after completing the PhD program is to become a legislator. In 2012, I ran for a seat in the 30th Legislature of the Virgin Islands from the St. Thomas, St. John district and was not successful. It was an eye-opening experience. I intend on running for public office in the next upcoming election. I now feel even more prepared to serve my community, more so now than ever. I have been able to learn many problem-solving skills as it relates to creativity and innovation while on my pursuit to attain my PhD. I understand the integral role creativity plays in organizational change and how creativity scholars can assist with that change. The PhD in creative leadership for innovation and change has helped me to develop the necessary skills to increase my creativity, which in turn will help me to serve my community and help others who are less fortunate. The University of the Virgin Islands PhD program has played an integral part in my development as I strive to serve my community, providing service above self. In the article Motivation and Creativity on page 297, it expressed that although creativity can arise from a complex interplay of motivational forces, motivation that stems from the individual's personal involvement in the work or love, that it's crucial for high levels of creativity in any domain. In this week's readings, the article Rewards Relationships to Creativity, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. It expressed that organizations are interested in increasing creativity because creativity serves as a precursor to organizational innovation and entrepreneurship. Amabil Kati, Kuhn, Lazenby, and Heron, 1996.
At the president's direction, erupted into the bloodiest attack on this capital since 1814. Some of you have said there's no way the president could have known how violent the man.
We didn't have a name at first, and then afterwards we called ourselves the Quail Ambassadors. And what we did was, well, let me go back. A young man by the name of...
Each and every one of you for showing up, for doing the work. I know it was difficult, I know it was hard, but again, what I always say, comfort is good, but nothing ever grows there. Comfort is good, nothing ever grows there. So I thank you for, again, being you, unapologetically.